Los Angeles Clippers are interested in acquiring Mike Conley. Mike Conley's making, I believe, around $23-24 million last time I checked. And when you look at this, who could the Los Angeles Clippers offer in a deal to the Utah Jazz that they might be interested in? Now, when you look at the current salary situation for the Jazz and the Clippers, the Jazz probably just want to trade Mike Conley, maybe attach like Taylor Horn Tucker, but 22.6 or $23 million you need. And then you go over to Los Angeles, the Clippers have, who could they get? Who could they send? Obviously, Norman Powell's not going to be part of that. Do you send Marcus Morris making 16.3, Robert Covington making 12.3? Do you do a deal of Robert Covington and Reggie Jackson? That's enough, and you can get yourself Mike Conley. Or do you do a deal of Nick Batum with Luke Kennard? Or do you do a deal of John Wall packaged with Marcus Morris? What are your thoughts here? What deal sounds correct and why?
I don't like any of those for the Clippers' sake, but I mean, they're desperate right now, or I should say they're getting close to desperate. I would probably go with Rocco. It seems like he's kind of more on the outwards. Amir Coffey's nice too. Not to trade him, but if you give up Rocco, I don't like the idea of trading Reggie Jackson, to be honest with you.
But he hasn't been good this year.
Yeah. So, and now they've benched him, but
that's my whole thing. Like,
just
who? Because let's pull up the Clippers roster. And the Clippers, because I just want to see who statistically, who the Clippers are playing regularly. Okay, because they play everybody. That's the fucked up part about the Clippers is they play fucking everybody. So you don't know who's actually expendable. Because like the guys really expendable off this list is like, listen to this: Paul George, 34 minutes; Kawhi Leonard, 30 minutes; Marcus Morris, 30 minutes; Zubac, 29 minutes; Reggie Jackson, 27; Norman Powell, 25; and Terrence Mann, 22; John Wall, 22; Luke Kennard, 22; Nick Batum, 21, almost 22; Robert Covington, 17. And that's 11 players already. And then Amir Coffey, 14. And then you get to Musa Diabate, Brandon Boston, and Jason Preston. So this is a team that plays 12 guys. So really, the bottom of the rotation is Robert Covington, Amir Coffey, Nick Batum, and Luke Kennard. That's their 9 through 12. So you'd argue those are the guys that they'd be willing to trade. But at the same time, you're like, well, half of those guys they're arguably some of their best three-point shooters. So I don't know if they'd want to trade their best three-point shooters,
How do they even get Mike Conley? Why? Is he worth a second?
Because they don't have a point guard. They don't have a pure point guard. Like John Wall's awesome.
I very much understand why Los Angeles wants Mike Conley.
Oh, the Jazz. You're saying why the Jazz want to do this?
Yeah.
So the thought behind this is the Jazz are blowing it up. The Jazz, with every game they're
gonna get better. Who are they?
The Jazz are basically. I mean, maybe they aren't blowing it up, but I think what they're thinking is if they can extract a young guy from the Clippers,
it'd have to be like Terrence Mann or.
My assumption is you do a deal surrounding, again, let's go back to the salaries. I would love to get, if I was the Jazz, I would love to take Terrence Mann, even Amir Coffey, Brandon Boston, maybe Jason Preston off their hands. But we need $23 million to salary match this. So the easiest deal right here, but I don't see them trading Norman Powell, Marcus Morris. So your assumption is, okay, if they do a deal of Luke Kennard, Robert Covington, and they throw in either Terrence Mann or BJ Boston, you're like, okay, that's going to bring the deal to about 25 million or 25 to, about $25 million. So if you can do that deal straight up, or you can ask Utah, okay, if we're sending you 3 players, Utah, we would like you to send us Mike Conley plus, I don't even know, maybe they throw in like Saban Lee. I know Saban Lee's not on this team. I mean, Leandro Balmaro. I don't, it's just, it's interesting to see how this plays out because I don't know what's the right call. What's the best What's your thought?
Yeah, they're gonna have to do. I mean, I guess they'll have to get creative, and at the end of the day, they'll. Although it's not like it's still possible. I guess I don't think Terrence Mann should be traded, but Reggie Jackson, 27, 7, and 8 in that playing game last year, the second one. So it's kind of tough to get rid of him this year, but he's not doing well, so he might be on the outs. I like the idea a lot of Mike Conley in Los Angeles, so.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense to think about it. So let's move on to another thing. Jakob